Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. I'm your host, the Dividend Aristocrat, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at UnitedHealth Group. Now, there has been some pretty big developments going on relating to the stock, and I wanted to cover them real quick in this video, so I'm putting it out as soon as I found out. In this video, we'll take a look at a super investor who made a pretty large purchase into UnitedHealth Group recently, and we'll also take a look at my individual position in the company. We'll cover UnitedHealth Group's performance so far this year, and we'll take a look at some of its financial metrics. Now, if you guys are into that type of content and appreciate the quick upload, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. As a reminder, this is not financial advice, and I'm just merely sharing my opinions on this channel. Now, with that being said, let's start by taking a quick look at my portfolio dashboard. So in total, I invested $52,773, and my portfolio value has finally surpassed the $70,000 range. I made a community post about this just a couple hours ago, but I'm super excited about it. Now, of course, going forward, this is likely to fluctuate up and down, and especially it's likely to come down within the next couple of weeks, but for now, it's been pretty nice seeing that massive number. Now, I want to apologize up front real quick if I am talking a little fast today. I want to keep this video very brief. I just want to make sure I get this information out there and give you my opinion on the developments. Now, in terms of unrealized gain, we're sitting at $17,230 with a 32.65% total return. Now, we'll call it there for the portfolio overview, but what you can see right now on your screen is Warren Buffett, or at least his company, Berkshire Hathaway's current holdings. As you can see, this is a pretty diversified portfolio, with Apple making by far the largest portion of his portfolio with over 22% in Apple, which he recently reduced by 6.67%. I'm not going to cover every single holding in the portfolio or all the changes that he's made to the portfolio this quarter. If you guys want to see a spotlight video or a featured video on this portfolio right here, let me know and I'll be happy to get to it in a future video. Now, the main reason we're here is this position right here. Although it's fairly small at 0.61% of his total portfolio, this is a brand new holding for his portfolio. As you can see right here, the buy indicates that this is brand new, and he purchased 5 million shares. So although this is a small position, of course, for most of us, it would be a very large position, which totaled a $1.5 billion purchase into the company. Now, the current price is $271, but the reported price for how much he paid per share is about $311 per share. Now, there's been a lot of rumors going around the past couple of days, especially if you spend any time on Twitter, you would have seen people have been trying to guess what position he recently opened up. It was estimated to be a $5 billion position, but as we can tell right here, he did end up opening up UnitedHealth as his larger position, and then is at $1.5 billion valuation, so smaller than expected. Now, hopping into Google, I just want to show you guys how crazy the reaction has been so far. The market hasn't opened yet, so what we can see here is the after hours movement, but once market opens tomorrow, we'll get a better idea of how this company is going to be moving. So right now, after hours, the company's already up 10.26%, bringing its price to almost $300 per share. Now, before everybody starts fighting in the comments, this does not change my opinion on the company at all. It's nice to have some super investors buying into the company. It gives you a little bit of confirmation bias, but in terms of how much it actually does to the stock price and the company's performance, it technically is not significant at all. These short-term movements, like what we are seeing after hours and what we can expect to see tomorrow or even for the rest of next week, don't actually indicate how the stock will perform long-term. A lot of times after Warren Buffett or a big super investor makes a move into a company, the stock price goes up temporarily because there's excitement and hype around the company, but afterwards it comes back down to more reasonable valuations. So just because the stock price is up 10.3% today, I do not count that as a win at all. We'll go over my individual holding in just a little bit, but to remind you guys, my average price paid is over $370, so this does not technically make a difference to me. I'm a long-time holder, and I'm hoping that the price of the company starts going up dramatically over the next couple of years. This short-term movement does not impact my position, and if anything, when dividends get reinvested now, it'll have to be reinvested at a higher price, so it's not necessarily ideal. Overall, I do want all my companies to trend upwards, but I'm not in a hurry for that to happen. I want the company to have strong fundamentals and to earn that stock price back. Regardless, it is interesting to see how many super investors invested in the company. I believe it's either the second or third most purchased stock for the past quarter. And in terms of percent allocation, I think it's the second highest. That does mean that at least some large investors do have faith in the company. Now, another thing I want to mention while we're here is that although Warren Buffett is the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, it does not necessarily mean that he's the one that made the decision to purchase shares in UnitedHealth Group. He has two other advisors, I believe, who have the ability to purchase shares in companies. In the past, they did make some purchases that they did regret, like Amazon in 2019 that they quickly sold out of. So in this case, he may not have made the decision himself to buy into the company, so we'll have to see how long they plan on holding the shares for. If the stock price does continue to trend down or crash, this won't be the first time that he's made some very big mistakes in the portfolio. He has large positions like Oxy, which are still deeply in the red, and he's also played around a lot with companies like SiriusXM, which I believe he's lost a decent amount of money on. Now, another thing that we can take a look at is the S&P 500's overall performance year to date. So as you can see right here, we have all the companies, and this is at the bottom of the list currently. The reason I bring this up is to show that even though UnitedHealth might be up 10% after hours, and let's say even if it goes up to 20% tomorrow in gains, which I don't think it will, but let's say it does, the company is still down pretty significantly year to date. It's currently down over 40% year to date, and even if the company's stock price was to increase dramatically tomorrow, it would still be deeply in the red. As a long-term buy and hold investor, I don't give too much weight to this purchase, but it is still something interesting to keep up with. Now, just for fun, if you guys are curious what the best performing companies are, right here you have Palantir Technologies at number 1 at almost 140% year-to-date return. Jumping into my portfolio holdings section, we can quickly just cover how the company stacks up within my own personal portfolio. So you can see right here, it is actually my worst performing company within my portfolio. It's currently down over 27%, and with Intel's recent recovery, there's been some rumors of maybe the government investing in the company. You can see that it's almost back to being flat. The only other company close to that poor performance is Booz Allen Hamilton, and we'll have to see how they both play out in the long term. Filtering out for just UnitedHealth, we can see some of my metrics right here, and if you guys have made it this far into the video and are enjoying it so far, I ask that you leave a like. It does help out the channel a ton. Now, I'm just going to be covering my holding and the stock's financial metrics pretty briefly in this video, but if you want to see a more detailed breakdown of why the price is as low as it is and more financial metrics for the company, you can check out my channel. I posted a couple other videos on UnitedHealth in the past couple months. So my average price paid is $379, which is really high compared to the current price, which is trading at $271.49. In total, I purchased 13.668 shares, and with dividend reinvestment, I own 13.851 shares. Now, if the price stays low short term, then my dividends have a bigger impact on that reinvestment, but if the price starts racing upwards, then I'm going to be able to get less shares back in return. My amount invested so far is over $5,000, so one of my largest positions in terms of amount invested, but my current value sits much lower than that at $3,760. That represents a 27.52% negative return or a $1,400 unrealized loss. My dividend earned is $75.62, and my annual payout going forward is $122.44, which gives me a current yield of 3.26% or a yield on cost of 2.33%. My allocation in the company is 5.4%, and if the price does start trending upwards, we're going to have this allocation increasing pretty substantially. So hopping into the financial metrics, we can see their financial metrics for the past 10 years, and you can see right here how crazy this is, where the company's stock price basically fell off a cliff in the past year. The revenue per share has continued to increase over time, which is good to see, but the earnings per share has decreased substantially in 2024, leading to part of the reason for the stock price's decline. Now for 2025, they've so far forecasted earnings per share of about, I think, $16 per share, so it'll be a little bit higher than 2024, which is not too bad. Now the main question as investors becomes, are they going to be able to increase their earnings per share back to those profitable levels that they were at before? In terms of free cash flow per share, we can see a similar image right here with a decline pretty recently, but they have been buying back shares pretty aggressively for the past couple years. Now, they recently did authorize a buyback program, so I'm really hoping they took advantage of this dip in stock price and bought back shares aggressively. That's definitely going to help increase those per share metrics. In terms of free cash flow per share and stock-based compensation, the stock-based compensation makes a very small percentage of free cash flow, so it's something to be concerned about. Now, in terms of dividend growth, this company is a very strong dividend growth machine. The past year's dividend growth was actually smaller, which is to be expected, but we'll have to see in the future if they continue those smaller increases or they go back to those double-digit increases like they used to do before. Now, their net income margin is very low, and that's to be expected. The insurance business is a very low margin business, which makes it hard to remain profitable at times when they're losing money. Their capex has continued to increase, but compared to free cash flow, it's not really anything to be concerned about, and their return on invested capital is actually relatively high, which means that their capital expenditures are being put to good use. As always, that does bring us to the end of today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at UnitedHealth stock and seeing some of the recent developments that came out today. I know this was a slightly shorter upload than usual, but I wanted to make sure that I can get this information to you guys as fast as possible. Overall, I do think it's pretty neat to see super investors piling money into UnitedHealth Group, but I don't think it's as influential as people make it seem. Short-term price movement for companies like UnitedHealth Group is not really important, especially when you're investing for the long term and when your cost base is significantly higher than the current stock price. My goal with this company is not to make a quick trade for some small profit, but rather is to make a large trade and some large profit a couple years down the line. Now, even better than that, I will continue to hold this company as long as the fundamentals remain strong. If you guys did make it to the end of the video, let me know down below what you guys thought about super investors purchasing this company and how you think its future is going to shape up. If you haven't yet watched my last video where I do talk about my dividend income for the month of July, check out this video right here. And if you want to see my video talking about my largest holding and how it just destroyed its earnings, check out this video right here. Remember, the best time to invest was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. I want to thank every single one of you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.